Hello everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Ancient Gears. Ancient Gears are a very powerful, very aggressive deck. And they formulate a type of strategy that is colloquially known in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG community as Blind Second. What is a Blind Second deck? Well, there are some decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That have very powerful effects. Very dangerous monsters, very easily assembled, very good control of the battle phase, but they don't tend to build a very strong end board going first. These decks tend to take advantage of the fact that if you go in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can choose to go second to build their deck entirely around the idea that they will always go second. When they win the coin flip, they choose to go second, and when they lose the coin flip, they anticipate their opponent choosing to go first. It works out very well as long as you can OTK, which Ancient Gears are very good at doing. Let's take a look at the deck. For the hand traps, we are playing 2 copies of Max C. It's an excellent card when you go second, just to make sure that your hand is always full. 1 copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. This could easily be 3, but I didn't really find the space for it. And that's it. That's the hand traps. Next up, we have the small Fiendsmith package. Fabled Lure, if this card is discarded to the graveyard, special summon it. You get this off of Tract, and then you discard it and you summon Requiem off of it. 2 copies of Engraver. You can discard this card to add Tract from your deck to your hand. You can target a Fiendsmith equipped card you control and 1 monster on the field. Send them both to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle 1 other Light Fiend from your graveyard into the extra deck and special summon this card. Pretty good. Fiendsmith's Tract, add 1 Light Fiend from your deck to your hand, then discard a card, so you can draw your Lure, discard it, and then special summon it. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 Fiendsmith fusion monster from your extra deck using your hand or field as material. Really good. And then from the extra deck, we have Fiendsmith's Lockma. This is a fusion of 2 Light Fiend monsters. Monsters your opponents control lose 600 attack points. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 Light Fiend that is banished from your graveyard, either add it to your hand or special summon it. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle 1 other Light Fiend from your graveyard into the deck or the extra deck, inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. Very solid. It allows you to very easily get additional resources on the board, and the extra 1200 damage can get you lethal when you go second. Necroquip Princess, 1 monster equipped with a monster card plus a Fiend monster card. This card allows you to take... if you summon your Fiendsmith Engraver, you can equip Requiem from it to the graveyard with Requiem's effect, and then Necroquip Princess can send them both to the graveyard to special summon herself, and then that allows you to use Engraver's effect from the graveyard to special summon itself as well. Then you can link those 2 into sequence. So this is a good card to allow you to just kind of extend. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards a monster equipped with a monster equipped with a monster card and a Fiend monster card to the graveyard. You can only control 1 Necroquip Princess. If a monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard to activate a card or effect, you can activate 1 of these effects. Equip 1 of those monsters to this card as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack points, or draw a card. Cool. So Necroquip Princess can stop your opponent from hand trapping you, or at least draw you a card if it happens, which is nice. This is more Millennium. Fiendsmith Desiree, Fiendsmith Engraver plus 2 Light Fiends, 2800 attack, 2400 defense. As a quick effect, you can negate the effects of face-up cards on the field up to the total link rating of link monsters equipped with this card until the end of the turn. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle 1 other Light Fiend from your graveyard into the deck or the extra deck, then target 1 card on the field and send it to the graveyard. It's a great card to make negates if you need to negate some cards like Yubel cards, and you can also link it off to pitch a card to the graveyard. Good option. Fiendsmith's Requiem, 1 Light Fiend. You can only special summon Requiem once per turn. During your main phase, you can contribute this card to special summon 1 Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck, which will be your Engraver. You can target 1 Light non-link Fiend monster you control. Equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster you control as an equipped spell that gives it 600 attack points. Really solid. Moon of the Closed Heaven requires 2 effect monsters, and you just link this from 2 effect monsters into Requiem because it's Light Fiend. And then lastly, Fiendsmith Sequence. 2 monsters, including a Light Fiend. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Fiend fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. You can target 1 light non-linked Fiend monster you control. Equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster as an equipped spell with the following effect. Your opponent can't target the equipped monster with card effects. Really good. This is how you make Desiree, then you equip it to Desiree, and Desiree has 2 negates, and it can't be targeted. Okay, that is the Fiendsmith. Now let's take a look at the Millennium package. Golem that guards the Millennium treasures. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can place it in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. While this is a continuous spell, you can either pay 2,000 life points or reveal a Millennium Lock in your hand. Special summon this card, then you can add 1 Wedju Temple from your deck to your hand. Wedju Temple, during your main phase, you can place 1 monster from your hand in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell, then place 1 Millennium monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then lastly, Senjhen wakes from a Millennium, cannot be destroyed by monster effects. If this card is in your hand, you can place it in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. While this card is a continuous spell, you can pay 2,000 life points, special summon this card, then you can add 1 Millennium monster from your deck to your hand. So, you activate Senjhen from your hand, then you pay 2,000 life points, you special summon it, you add Golem. Golem special summons itself as well, you add Wedju Temple. Wedju Temple, activate, place a card from your hand in the back row, then place your Senjhen from your deck in the back row, and you can send those 2 cards to the graveyard to special summon your Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. Snake Eyes Doom Dragon is 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, level 8 dragon monster. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by sending 2 face-up monster cards from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. So this card allows you to just lock your opponent out of their cards. Very, very good effect. And then after you've done that, you can actually use Senjhen and the Snake Eyes Doom Dragon to Xyz summon into Garunix, Hyang of the Fire Kings, which is a rank 8 pyro monster that requires 2 level 8s. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can destroy all other monsters on the field. A really, really powerful effect when you go second. So you can do all of that before you even started your Ancient Gear stuff. Really, really good. That's it for the Millennium cards. Okay, real quick before we talk about the Ancient Gear cards, let's talk about the Blind Second cards. So we have Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Heavy Storm, destroy all spells and traps on the field. These 2 cards allow you to prevent your opponent from doing anything to interrupt your plays. And then we have Forbidden Droplet. Send any number of other cards from your hand in or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls. Till the end of the turn, their attack is halved, their effects are negated. In response to this card's activation, your opponent can activate cards or effects of cards with the same original type as the card sent to the graveyard to activate this card. Okay. So, Droplet is really good, specifically because you can chain it to a card like Heavy Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster to make you not only get the Harpy's Feather Duster effect, but you can send the Harpy's Feather Duster's cost to get an extra negate. So you get to blow up your opponent's back row and then also negate a monster. Really, really powerful card. This card is extremely good at Blind Second because it just lets you start your turn by negating all of your opponent's cards, and then you just crash into them and win the game. We don't want to destroy our opponent's monsters, that's why we're not playing Lightning Storm or Raigeki, because we want to crash into all of their monsters with Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. But we do want to negate them. Okay, that is all of the Blind Second cards. So now let's talk about the Ancient Gear cards. Ancient Gear Statue, level 2 Earth Machine, 500 attack, 800 defense. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Ancient Gear Statue once per turn this way. You can tribute this card, special summon from your hand or deck 1 Ancient Gear Golem, or 1 monster that mentions it, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use this effect once per turn. Great, this card will bring out your Ancient Gear Golem, or your Ancient Gear Tanker if you have Ancient Gear Golem in your hand, and then you win the game. Next up, we have Gizmek Taniguku, the Immobile Intellect. This is a level 3 Earth Machine with 1450 attack and 1450 defense. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 machine monster in your graveyard whose attack equals its own defense, and special summon it in defense position. So, what you do with this card is you'll special summon it off of your Urgent Schedule. Urgent Schedule is a quick play spell card that says, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. You cannot attack during the turn that you activate this effect except with machines. So you special summon your level 4 is going to be your Gizmek Taniguku, and your level 5 or higher is going to be your Ancient Gear Dark Golem. Then you link those 2 monsters off into your Ancient Gear Ballista, and then after you've done that, you can then activate Gizmek Taniguku's effect in the graveyard, banish it, revive your Ancient Gear Dark Golem, and you can use Ancient Gear Dark Golem's effect, which you couldn't do when you summoned it off of Urgent Schedule because it was negated. Really, really strong. Okay. Ancient Gear Wyvern. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot set for the rest of the turn. If this card attacks, your opponent can activate monster effects until the end of the damage step. Okay, so this card searches any Ancient Gear card. You will usually use this to get your Ancient Gear Advance, which lets you search another spell card. But you can also use it to get Ancient Gear Statue if your opponent has more monsters than you do. Either way. Ancient Gear Tanker. We are playing this at 1 because we usually special summon it. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon from your graveyard instead. Sweet. It just gets this Ancient Gear Dark Golem. You can target one face-up card you control, destroy it. Also, for the rest of this turn, all monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it gain 600 attack points. It's decent enough. You can pop your Gear Town if you need to. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Dark Golem. This card is dumb. Level 8, 3000 attack, 3000 defense. This card's name becomes Ancient Gear Golem while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 2 cards that are either Ancient Gear cards or Gear Town from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Gear Dark Golem, then discard 1 card. Also, you cannot set cards for the rest of the turn. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. So what you'll do with this card is you search your Ancient Gear Advance, which will draw you your Ancient Gear Fusion, and then you'll also add Ancient Gear Catapult, which you can then send to the graveyard and use its effect to banish itself to pop one of your cards. Solid. Next up, we have Overload Fusion. Fusion summon one Dark Machine Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. What we do with this card is we will play Ancient Gear Fusion summon one Ancient Gear Chaos Golem, and then we link summon Predantverteakonda, and we use its effect to mill the Overload Fusion so that we can use the same 4 materials we just fused to make a second Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. And you win the game that way. Ancient Gear Catapults. While you control no monsters, target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Insane. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Ancient Gear token. You can only use one Ancient Gear Catapult effect per turn, and only once that turn. So if you have Ancient Gear Advance in your opening hand, you can just activate Ancient Gear Advance, draw a Catapult, pop, special summon your Ancient Gear Dark Golem, and start your turn. If you don't have Ancient Gear Advance in your opening hand, then you search Ancient Gear Advance, but then you already have the Dark Golem on the field, so you can't really use Ancient Gear Catapult's first effect, so you pitch it so that you can use its second effect. Either way, it's a good card. Ancient Gear Fusion. Fusion summon one Ancient Gear Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If you use Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound you control as fusion material, you can also use monsters from your deck as material. So you have to summon your Ancient Gear Dark Golem, and then you can use Fusion and use Ancient Gear Dark Golem and 3 monsters from your deck. Pretty good. Gear Town. Both players can normal summon Ancient Gear monsters for 1 less tribute. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Great. So you just search this with Ballista, pop it, summon your Ancient Gear Dark Golem, and win the game. Ancient Gear Fortress. This card is stupid. During the turn that these cards were normal or special summon, your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That's crazy. Your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Ancient Gear cards and effects. Okay, so if you activate Ancient Gear Fusion, your opponent cannot negate it with a card like Baronne de Fleur. They can't negate it with a card like Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. They can't try and destroy your Ancient Gear Golem with a card like Raigeki Break. There's no response. If you activate an Ancient Gear card, your opponent misses the opportunity to respond to it. If this card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Ancient Gear monsters. This is not once per turn, and none of these cards are once per turn. You can play 3 copies of Fortress in the same turn and just get all their effects. It's really good. Ancient Gear Advance. When this card is activated, add one Ancient Gear spell or trap from your deck to your hand except Advance. Once per turn, you contribute a monster, draw 1 card, and apply this effect for the rest of the turn. You can normal summon an Ancient Gear Golem or a level 5 or higher monster that mentions it without tributing. You cannot set cards the turn you activate this card. So, the reason why you would tribute a monster is so that you can have no cards in the field so that you can play your Catapult, which you know, if that's what you want to do, good on you. For the extra deck, we are playing Chaos Ancient Gear Giant at 2. Fusion summon of 4 Ancient Gear monsters, must be fusion summoned, unaffected by spells and traps. Your opponent can activate monster effects during the battle phase, can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. 4,500 attack, 3,000 defense. Powerful card, you make 2 of them, you win the game. Clefort Genius, this requires 2 machine monsters. This link summon card is unaffected by spells, traps, and the activated effects of the link monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up card on each field. Except this card, negate the effects of both those cards until the end of the turn. When 2 monsters are special summoned at the same time to zones this card points to, you can add 1 level 5 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand. To be honest, Clefort Genius is more for the Ancient Gear players who want to summon Regulus, which is not really something that you're going to do when you go second. I guess you could, but it's more of a going first strategy. I haven't summoned Clefort Genius a single time since I made this deck. It is a good Earth Machine Link monster, but not really what this deck wants to do. You don't really have an opportunity to make it. Ancient Gear Ballista, link of 2 Earth Machines. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 Ancient Gear monster or 1 Gear Town from your deck to your hand. You can target a spell or trap you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Destroy the card you control. If you do, change the opponent's monster to a attack and defense to 0 until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, Ballista lets you draw your Gear Town, and then you pop the Gear Town, then you special summon a monster from your deck. Now, this is a good reason why this deck is a blind second deck. You can't use Ancient Gear Ballista if your opponent doesn't control a monster. So, and since this card is so integral to the way the deck works, along with Ancient Gear Statue, which requires your opponent controls more monsters than you do, and Urgent Schedule, which sets up your Ancient Gear Ballista and requires more monsters than you do, you really don't have any plays going first. Your entire deck focuses around responding to your opponent when you go second. So, that's why we always go second. Predantverteakonda, any 2 effect monsters. You can pay 2,000 life points. Send Overload Fusion from your deck to the graveyard. This card's effect becomes that spell's effect when this card's activated. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn. Excellent. SP Little Knights, if this card is link summoned using a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster's material, you can target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard, banish it. Also, your monsters cannot attack directly this turn. This is one of the few decks that can actually kill through an opponent's board without attacking directly. So SP Little Knight is very good for, in particular, dealing with Nightmare Pain, which is the Yubel spell and trap that prevents you from damaging your opponent. When your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster you control. Banish both until the end phase. Perfectly good. And then lastly, Sky Striker, Ace, Aelia, Temperance. This requires 2 or more monsters, including a Link monsters. Must first be Link summoned. It is also a machine, which means that we can attack with it during the turn we summon Urgent Schedule. If this card is special summoned, you can banish 1 spell card from your hand or graveyard. Then target 1 monster your opponent controls with 2,500 or less attack points. Equip that face-up monster to this card as an equipped spell. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 other Sky Striker monster from your hand or graveyard. Okay, so you summon Temperance, you equip 1 of your opponent's monsters, then you send that card to the graveyard in order to special summon like your Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. It's really funny. Alright, there we go. So that's the deck. Let's take a look at the replay. Alright, so we are going second against Fiendsmith Yubel. Now, of course, one of the big things about going blind second is that you have to do a lot of waiting. So let's enjoy our opponent's game. Nightmare Throne. They draw Samsara D Lotus. Normal summon Lotus, tribute, special summon Yubel. Spirit of Yubel, add the Nightmare Pain. Nightmare Pain, pop. Draw the Gruesome Gravestormer. Nightmare Throne activates as a Chain Link 1. Yubel activates as a Chain Link 2. Special summon Yubel. Add the Terror Incarnate. Did not special for some reason. Pop. Yubel effect Chain Link 1. Special summon the Terror Incarnate. Link off. Make Moon of the Closed Heaven. So here comes the Fiendsmith stuff. Shuffle 2 back. Summon the Phantom so that we can make sure that we don't get ashed. There's the Requiem. Requiem summon Engraver. Requiem equip. Now we can go into the Necroquip Princess. Fiendsmith Engraver, shuffle back the Moon of the Closed Heaven, summon Engraver. Link off. Make Fiendsmith sequence. Sequence, fuse 2. I think he makes Aerial Eater here. Yeah. Aerial Eater, mill the Gruesome Gravestormer. Like off. Unchained Soul Lord of Yama. Yama adds Sharvara from deck to hand. Now he can activate Gruesome Graves, or no, he's going to summon Phantom of Yubel again, and then link those two off into the Unchained Soul of Rage. Gruesome Gravestormer, banish itself, special summon the Spirit of Yubel from the graveyard. Sharvara, pop the Spirit of Yubel, special summon itself. Yama effect, banish itself from the graveyard. Spirit of Yubel effect is a chain link 2. Special summon Yubel. Bring back the Spirit of Yubel. Aerial Eater, shuffle 2 cards, or banish 2 cards back to special summon itself. Exceeds into the Wave High King Caesar. Then exceeds the Spirit of Yubel and the Yubel into Varudras, the Bringer of End Times. Set 1, pass. Okay, so our opponent has, if we activate a monster effect, they contribute Phantom of Yubel to make it pop a Yubel card. When a spell or trap or a monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster, negate it twice and destroy. Target of special summon monster and use it as link material, and an Omni negate. Cool. And then they also can't take any damage. They force us to attack their Phantom of Yubel, and they have a set card, along with Nightmare Throne, which lets them special summon a Yubel if a monster is destroyed. Alright. Our hand is Ancient Gear Statue. Senjhen wakes up from Millennium. Heavy Storm, Urgent Schedule, and Ancient Gear Advance. Let's get started. We draw Droplet. Our opponent's going to immediately max CS. That's fine. Start things off, we activate Ancient Gear Advance. The opponent is going to Varudras immediately to stop our search. And he detaches another material to destroy a card on the field. Alright. Now we're going to activate Heavy Storm, and then we chain Urgent Schedule. Opponent is going to use Caesar's effect in response to that, and then we're going to chain Forbidden Droplet. So with Forbidden Droplet, we're going to send the 2 spell cards we activated, Heavy Storm and Urgent Schedule, along with the Ancient Gear Statue from our hand. This is going to let us negate Unchained Soul of Rage, Triple D Wave High King Caesar, and Phantom of Yubel. And Varudras has already used all its effects. Then we remove all of their back row, and we summon 2 monsters. We summon the Gizmet Kaku and the Ancient Gear Dark Golem. Opponent draws a card off of Max C. Okay. That was Call by the Grave, so that's excellent. We deal with a Call by the Grave. Link into Ballista. Ballista, draw the Gear Town. Opponent's going to droll us. So we are now drolled, so we can't add any more cards from our deck to our hand. Ballista, trigger Gear Town, that summons the Ancient Gear Tanker. The opponent cannot no longer draw off Max C, by the way. That's really funny. Bring back Statue. Statue summon the Dark Golem, which we can't use to add, but that's fine. Link into Verte. Verte effect, pay 2,000, Ancient Gear Fusion. Fuse Ancient Gear Dark Golem and 3 Wyverns into Chaos Ancient Gear Giants. Enter the battle phase. The opponent is going to activate Rage's effect, but it's negated. 45 and 36. And that's game. So, there you go. That is the power of the Ancient Gear deck. We were able to take a meta deck like Fiendsmith Yubel and crush it into tiny pieces. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.